everyone. Today I am tweaking the newly created file folder pocket for my journal. Hello everyone. It's Lori here with my crafty mind for you. Today I have something a little bit different. Now remember that last video that I just created on the file folder pocket that goes into our journals. Now something that I had been racking my brain on, trying to come up with a new creation for our file folder to fit it into a journal. Well, I have taken this and I have now altered it into something even cooler. You're going to love this. At least I do. I think you will too. What I have done is I have taken my template, and you can go back to that video. It's the video right before this. And when it is still not put together, take this template, cut it out, and get the measurements, either the same ones I have, or you can create your own measurements. And prior to stitching it all up and whatnot, I went ahead, put my pieces together, my cardstock pieces, okay? I'm using the craft because I like the way that the brown bleeds through underneath. And first step, put them together the way that they're going to be stitched together. And you can see that I went ahead and made sure that when I put my napkin, I have enough there so that when it's stitched, it's not, you're not seeing this rough edge here. So I want to make sure that when you do put your napkin, you Mod Podge that on there, that you do have that covered. I also put a little stamp on there to give it some interest. But I want to show you a little trick. This beautiful napkin is what I used, portions of it. Isn't that beautiful? It's just gorgeous. That's upside down, but that's because the words are that way, or the flowers. The words are the opposite direction, but anyhow, this is the beautiful napkin that I used. But I want to show you a little trick that I learned, and I believe it was Crafty Irene. I think it's Crafty Irene, if not Crafty Irene, something like that. So you get a piece of Scotch tape. Now you know the trouble that we have trying to get these layers and plies off of napkins. Sometimes there's two, sometimes there's three. We're simply going to put a piece of Scotch tape onto your napkin. Make sure it's on there, and you're just going to rip it. Look at that. How easy was that? And it takes the ply off for you. Okay, like I said, sometimes you're going to have more than one ply. In this case, I have 2 plies, so I'm going to do that process again, and I'm going to rip it. Look at that, without doing any damage to the ply that I need. So there's a little tip for you all, passed on by Crafty Irene. Okay, now let's get started. So you're going to take your template, or your actual piece that you're going to be working with. Now, depending if you want your tag to be on this side or this side, most people would want the top to be here because you don't want to cut into this section because your tab's not going to look very nice there. So what you're going to do is put them together, and if you have a hard time holding them together, you can always get a paper clip and bind it that way. You're going to take your paper punch, and I turn it this way so that I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm not going to make the full circle, but I'm going to punch, and I'm not going to punch this because this is my template, but you're going to punch each corner just like that, and that is going to give you this really cool design. I'm going to flip it this way so you can see the design. Okay, and then when we've got it all sewn together the way it needs to be and attached, we're going to make our hole for our ribbon or string, whatever we're going to put in there. Make sure that you have it facing upright. So my wording is this way, my birdie is this way, my flowers hang down. Okay, so before I stitch this, I also made a pocket for it. I want to make sure that I'm not putting that upside down either. So this is upside right, and I want to make sure that I'm putting it on the side that is going to be my front. So my front is going to be this part, not the tab part, the opposite. So I've got to go to that piece, and you might want to make your pocket smaller. You might want a big pocket like mine. and I like a big pocket, so I'm going to keep it there. And that's the same size of pocket that we did on the burlap, if you go back to that video. Okay, so let's get started doing this. So how I got that napkin on there was Mod Podge. Okay, I forgot to show you. Mod Podge and a good old-fashioned paintbrush. Any paintbrush will do. You let it dry. It takes about 5 minutes. Real simple. So I'm going to stitch this pocket. I need to decide where exactly I want that pocket, and I want it about 1/8 of an inch all around, just because right in here, I don't want that to be, you know, way close there and have a bigger gap here at the bottom. I want it to be pretty uniform all the way around. So I'm going to stitch my pocket right there. Don't forget, don't go stitch the top. Okay, so let's get this part done. And I want to stay about 1/8 of an inch within my pocket when I'm stitching. I don't want to take up more space than necessary of my pocket because I want to be able to use my pocket. Make sure I got my machine set where it needs to be. And, whoop, it was already on. Okie dokie. I don't know that I can zoom in. I can't. All right. Now when I get to the turn, I'm going to lift my pedal and make my turn. Again, lift my pedal and make my turn. Now I just think that stitched ephemera, it is so beautiful. It just gives it this really nice finished look, and I love it. I'm not going to be decorating this tag today. I'm just simply going to show you how it's done. Now I'm not going to stitch all around my tag because remember I'm keeping this as a pocket. It's my file folder and I'm keeping it as such. Now one thing I didn't do on my file folder was I did not, if you notice, keep my tab because I don't need a tab and it's a tag. So I made sure and I just sliced that tab right off. So you will be making these the same size, only you'll be cutting the indentation in here so that you have a pocket here and a pocket here. You see that? Pocket here and a pocket here. So let's remember, we're not going to stitch. We're going to start our stitching right here around the tag, and we're going to finish it right here on this corner. Make sure we're all lined up, nice and neat. And again, if you have a problem holding your tag, feel more than welcome to attach it with paper clips or anything that works for you. I like to back stitch on my first stitch to make sure that it's not going anywhere. When you're at that corner, you can turn it, or if you choose, you can also pick up your foot pedal on your sewing machine. If you go real slow, you're able to make that turn pretty nicely. But sometimes you might have to pick up your foot pedal to get that nice rounded turn. I want to make sure that I did not stitch over my little pocket on the front. Now when I get to this little design that I made here, I'm going to have to turn my tag So I'm going to have to pick up my pedal, or my foot, not my pedal, my foot, to get that stitch design all the way around. Now I'm coming pretty close to that end there that I want to leave open. But remember, I want to back stitch because we are at the top and we're going to be using that quite a bit. So make sure and back stitch that if you have that option on your machine. I think this is really a really awesome idea. Again, it's just something I thought, you know what, why can't we make it for two purposes? Not just a pocket in a pocket, but hey, this could be a really cool tag. And so there we have it. Now I'm going to take you can either use a round punch, whatever punch you have that you make your tag top holds with. I use both. I use, depending how big I'm going to want my, if what kind of lace or what I'm going to be putting in there. If I'm going to be putting a whole bunch, then I'll use my round punch. But I typically like to use this punch. I really like it. I think it's a really neat punch. You can see that? And it kind of goes with the top here. So there it is. There's my tag. Now I have a pocket, just like I did on my file folder. And I still have my pocket here. But now I also have a tag. So let's just put some ribbon on that so we can see how it's going to look. And I'm just going to grab any ribbon I have here handy. This is not the ribbon I'm going to use. But just to give you an idea, I'm slipping it through this little slit here and taking that loop and grabbing all the rest of it and just pulling it up. Now you can put lace in there, you can put whatever you'd like to put in there, but this make a nice journal tag, and it's quite nice already, even like it is. But I'm going to be putting some lace and some other things on it, make it a little bit more fancy. Whoop, sorry about that. There we go. Just to fancy it up a little bit, put some bling, maybe some, I don't know, maybe doing some stuff with it. But I just wanted to share that with you, just an update on what I just thought of now that I was presenting the pocket to you. And I thought, well, that would be a great idea. So yeah, 3 uses out of 1. So thanks again for watching. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. If you like this channel, share it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this project. And thank you for helping my channel to grow. I appreciate every one of you. I couldn't do it without you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, happy crafting. See you in the next video. Bye-bye now. If you have not already seen the video where the measurements are given for the mini file folder pocket, I will leave a link below for you. Also, stay tuned to see how I create these beautiful altered paper clip dangles.